I've helped over 100 people go from corporate employee to solo consultant, and I've noticed that the people who struggle to get clients aren't less smart or less hardworking than anybody. They're just usually making one or two simple mistakes that keep them stuck without clients for months, wasting time on things that feel productive while their income stays stuck at zero. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most common mistakes that I see my clients make, so you know exactly what to avoid before they cost you another month of lost income or make you give up on solo consulting altogether. By the end of this video, you're going to know what it takes most new consultants years to figure out, and what some never figure out at all. So let's get into it. The biggest mistake that I see new solo consultants making is trying to land their clients with their resume. So this is what I mean. If they used to be a marketer, now they're a marketing consultant. If they used to work at a big brand like Nike or Meta, they call themselves ex-Meta or ex-Nike in their LinkedIn headline, and then they wonder, like, why is nobody hiring me? Or worst of all, they take their resume bullet points and they try to use those to get clients with what I call a standing offer. So they say something like, I'm a marketing consultant. When you want some marketing consulting, just call me. Whatever you need, I'm always here, just waiting for you. It's like hanging a sign outside of a virtual shop window that says, marketing consultant, open 24/7, 365 days a year. And that might work for like a bookstore or a locksmith or a nightclub, but it's not going to work for you. Buyers don't see that you're a marketing consultant and then start to kind of spontaneously think of things that you can help them with. A consultant is not an extra set of generalist hands on their team or even a fractional executive. A solo consultant is a specific problem solver. Clients hire solo consultants when they have a very specific problem or a set of problems that needs to be solved. So your first job is to translate your skills, experience, and background into a buyable offer that clients are actively searching for and looking to buy. So something that's clear and concrete and simple and urgently needs to get fixed. The next trap is a really big one, and it's one that smart people tend to fall into more than any other because it feeds the ego. New solo consultants often make the mistake of trying to educate or convince the market to want something. Sometimes they've been in an industry so long that they think they know exactly what to fix, but then clients don't really want to buy it. Or, and I've seen this one a lot, new consultants get confused because they have this like new innovative way of doing things like design thinking or systems thinking or AI or behavioral science, which by the way is what my consulting business is built on. But then they confuse interest in the topic for demand in the market. I call this the pill and the peanut butter problem. So if you've ever had a dog that you need to give a pill to, you know you can't just like shove the pill in their mouth, right? They don't understand that it's helping them, so they just kind of spit it out. So what do you have to do? You have to cover it in something delicious that they already want, like peanut butter, so they think that they're getting a tasty treat instead of medicine. Because that's what a dog wants, something that tastes good, not something that's going to cure them. So if you're going to be a solo consultant, you really need to understand what is your pill and what is your peanut butter. Because demand in the marketplace is like the pill and the peanut butter. You have to design your offer to harvest demand that already exists, the peanut butter that clients already want to pay for, and then you kind of slip in the pill of design thinking or behavioral science. But lead with the peanut butter because demand dictates clients. I call this type of tasty offer, by the way, a demand first offer. And helping you create demand first offers that clients can't wait to buy is exactly what I do inside of my one-on-one coaching and my program, Chief Business Co-Pilot. You get everything you need in 16 weeks to go from employee to solo consultant, so you can say goodbye to layoffs, return to office mandates, and office politics forever. You can learn more and apply at employeetoconsultant.com. The next trap is one that a lot of us fall into because of our own vanity and fear, and it stops you from getting clients in a really sneaky way. A lot of new solo consultants never do the one single most valuable thing that you can do to get clients, and not just in consulting, by the way, but in any business. Talking to buyers to see if they want what you sell. This feels embarrassing, it feels exposed, and it feels uncomfortable for a lot of people. So instead, they tend to distract themselves. So they'll like build a website or design a logo or write a LinkedIn post or use AI to write a LinkedIn post for them. And all of it feels productive, but none of that stuff is really going to get you a client. Distracting yourself with surface level stuff is a lot easier than putting your offer on paper or in a Google Doc and sending it to a real person and asking for feedback to improve it. But I'm here to tell tell you that every hour you spend getting feedback from or talking to people that could be your clients and understanding their real problems and needs and motivations and fears and drivers is worth at least 1,000 hours, literally, of doing anything else. So don't fall in this trap. Our next mistake is one that people tend to make, not because they're foolish or inexperienced, but because they've gotten some really bad advice over the years from online marketing gurus. One of the most pernicious myths of marketing a business online in this content era, especially a service-based business like consulting or coaching, is the idea that you should give away everything that you know, do, and have experienced for free. Now, Gary Vee is the one that I'm going to blame for this one because he wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook in the 2010s, which you probably heard me complain about before, where he said, you need to give away everything that you know to get clients. You give away the sauce, they hire you to cook the spaghetti, whatever. Wrong. And damaging for 90% of businesses. But there is a kernel of truth in Gary's advice. I'll give him some credit. The problem is that his advice works best and basically only for big giant companies that charge a lot of money. So take McKinsey, for example, an enormous consulting firm. They don't care if their frameworks and models and ways of thinking are given away for free because A, companies hire them for $1 million plus projects. B, companies hire McKinsey and companies like them partly so they can just say that they hired McKinsey to do it, which means Bob the consultant down the street is not their real competition. And C, McKinsey has the resources and legal protections to defend its intellectual property if somebody steals and applies it. So Gary's advice works for them and for other major professional services type brands, including large ad agencies or advisory firms or consultancies. But a solo consultant is none of these things. Your clients and client engagements are really different from McKinsey, Bain, or like a corporate ad agency like VaynerMedia, which is what Gary Vee runs. Your IP, your intellectual property, your knowledge, your experience, your frameworks, your ways of thinking are what you get paid for. So if you start giving all of that away for free, you're going to attract tire kickers and competitors stealing your ideas and people who take your work and apply it themselves. A much better approach for a solo consultant is to share a balance of value content and insight. Now, I have a few videos that can help you create content that gets clients without giving away all your valuable expertise for free. So I'm going to drop the links for those in the description so you can check those out later. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video and getting some value from it, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or subscribing to the channel because it tells YouTube to show you more videos like this one and it helps the channel reach some new viewers. Now, on to mistake number 5, a simple one that might surprise you. Most new consultants go straight from a conversation to a big pitch. So like a retainer, a multi-month engagement, to somebody who's never even paid them a single cent. And that is a massive leap of faith to ask of essentially a stranger, somebody who's never worked with you before. You've built authority and respect, but what you're probably lacking is a little bit of trust. The type of trust that gets people to spend money or recommend you to their boss or risk their neck to hire you to do some work that's expensive that they've never worked with you before. So if you want to increase the chances of landing a client, you have to increase the ways that they can pay you a little bit before taking a big risk to pay you a lot. Now, I talk very specifically about my trust funnel inside of my programs and one-on-one coaching, but the mistake that people make here is only giving potential clients big things to pay for instead of offering something smaller and quicker that they can say yes to right away, usually without having to go to their boss or to a committee of people or get like a massive budget approval on. Just a comparatively small engagement that solves one clear specific problem, and that'll do more to build trust than 100 free strategy calls or free consulting or whatever all these other people are telling you to do. Because money changing hands is going to activate a lot of psychological sales principles like the sunk cost fallacy, the endowment effect, and a ton more. The next mistake is an easy one to make because a lot of other consultants are probably telling you to make it. Now, don't get me wrong, referrals are a great way to land clients, especially your first few clients. But if you lean on them for 100% of your client getting strategy, it's going to be a disaster for 99% of consultants long term. Your network, no matter how big, is finite. And referrals come in waves, tied to things that you can't control, the market, people's budgets, and just kind of like general timing. New consultants can ride referrals for, in my experience, about 18 to 24 months before they start to hit a wall where referrals are slowing down and nothing's in the pipeline being developed to replace them. Around this time, solo consultants will start to hit what's called the year 2 slump. So to fix that, you need a dependable system driven by marketing and content to bring in clients that you don't know, but who need what you sell. Now, referrals, they do have their place, but if you rely 100% on them, you're gonna have a bad time sooner than you think. And your growth is gonna get throttled at a certain point. The next mistake is the most business damaging mistake out there, and it's a trap that I see solo consultants fall into every single day. Most experienced professionals have a fatal flaw when it comes to switching into a business owner, entrepreneur, or solo consulting mindset. They've just spent so many years polishing presentations and spending an hour writing a perfect email or crafting an elevator pitch that they bring that polished mentality, that approach to solo consulting. So they want all their ducks in a row with their offer, their website, their logo, their LinkedIn profile, their professional headshots, whatever, before they ever show their offer to a real potential buyer and get feedback. But if there is one mindset that you have to adopt to get clients faster, especially at first, it's that the market is the ultimate decider of what works, meaning what sells. So you need to get your offer in front of people as fast as possible, which means it probably won't be presented in a fancy PowerPoint or a pixel perfect website. I have a saying inside of my programs that, to be honest, people are probably sick of hearing me say, but I'm going to keep saying it. And that is, the offer is the business. And it's really true. But there's also a second saying that goes with the first one, which is demand dictates clients. So if you don't have demand for your offer, you don't have clients. And if you don't have clients, you don't have a business. So I want you to throw that perfectionist mindset away and get a little bit more scrappy. Put your offer in front of people as soon as possible, get feedback, and validate that it's going to sell before spending time and energy and money designing all the superficial parts of your business. 7 big mistakes, all clearly avoidable now that you know to look out for them. And if you want some help navigating, or you just want to skip the whole process of figuring out how to run a solo consulting business and get my 16-week solo consulting blueprint instead, then check out the links in the description for my one-to-one coaching and group programs. And if you liked this video, the algorithm thinks you're going to love watching this one next. I'm Jen Clinehens, and I'll see you in the next one.